Yo, hi guys, welcome to another video in English this time. Um, yeah, we today watch and react to a quick tip video of Carey Holzman. My 2 cents, what I think about him. Not gonna be the guy that says, oh, he's an idiot and all that. Like a lot of those reactions on YouTube, because this wouldn't help anyone. So they're going to get like nicely about this, and yeah, let's watch it.
Anytime you guys buy an X99 system, you're buying a Ferrari, you know. X99, X299, or X399 in the case of AMD.
It's not wrong at first. That's not wrong at all.
You're buying a Ferrari, okay? So when somebody buys a Ferrari, they generally don't go, that is the most reliable car I've ever owned. No, they say that's the fastest car I've ever owned, but it's got to go in the shop constantly. X99, X299, and X399 systems require constant babying. They're very fickle and because they're so high performance, their precision is critical, and any sort of imbalance to that precision crashes it.
Well, that's like 98% sure. You can, like, at least what's more, what I can say is this, that in the BIOS it could be more stable. It would be 100% in the BIOS. It can't be stable. In terms of using, because you got better control of it, of the stuff on the chipset, and what the chip actually offers you. Intel Extreme Tuning Utility would do the better job, but not necessarily if you go like an inch too far on voltage, for example, to pump up the cache ratio from 24. In the case of my 7820X, I'm currently using my second PC, so which is a Ryzen 5 2600X, and P450, like the more mature ones. And my other system is like a 2.4 gigahertz. If you go above that, you can, but certainly if a game, sometimes it's the game too. I haven't really tested that too much, so I'm still working on it. But I will make the assumption that Activision is so sucky at Modern Warfare 2 that it not only crashes the game, it crashes with the computer. If I undid the overclock, it still happened, but way less. So it can be both fucking up too. But he's not wrong that you need to basically know what you're doing. Like every ounce and every little meter you can turn down and up, you should definitely know what you're doing. You can't really damage it, but you think you're gonna damage it, because there's one problem that it doesn't, that it crashes, and then there's two more problems coming with that crash. Feels like, especially on my motherboard, for example, which hasn't got any issues, but it's so cramped and it's so on alien tech, I should say, that it feels like everything is thrown together. And so when I turn the PC on, because I did something I always leave and encourage people to leave the PC on, especially on systems like this, and then when I kind of restart it, it doesn't even post. It does shut on, shut off, shut on, shut off, shut on, like about 5 times, and then he actually starts and gives me a post screen, and then goes into booting Windows. After that, everything is fucking stable. But as long as I don't fuck around with it, like I also did on X99. I had that 2014 3780 Ti's, 3780, sorry, not Ti's, 64 gigs of RAM that I never needed, but I had the money, never going to do that shit again, buying something I couldn't need or make use of it. The X299, what I got now, is way less extreme than what I had before, and a 5950X, that PC died because of a sucky Corsair 1200 watt power supply. The AX1 was kind of famous to this, to kind of destroy it, secretly destroy, take all the hardware with it, and I didn't want to spend the time, so I sold it for pretty cheap. Even though the process was like $1,000, I sold it for like 400 because I couldn't make sure if it's working and stuff. That's my story, a little take on that, just to let you guys know. But the X99 was dope. I'm sure it was the power supply, but yeah, sometimes you get what you get. But that X299 is running since 2017. It's a 7820X, still ridiculously fast. No latency issues. Got a better latency than a Ryzen 7 5700G, which is already like a fucking great processor, especially for their money. And had no issues with it, way less than with that X299 system. It requires more attention. That's for sure.
If you want reliability, stay away from X99, X299, X399, and Ferraris.
Well, I see the target audience of this video is less me, it's more like the general people, or people that are not too tech savvy. I can understand they should stay away from it, but for other ones like me, I've got X299, and if you see something like Chase the Saints, even stuff like Linus Tech Tips and stuff, they even, when it first launched, they even said, this is stupid, this is kind of a weird launch where they had Kaby Lake X, which didn't make sense, but they, at the end of the day, they all had it, and they fucking loved it. Chase the Saints also, he always talks about when there's something wrong, but didn't do that on X299 since it didn't have that much issues. And other points of some other videos in the past, he said that he had a couple of X299 systems, X99 and stuff like that. Technically it started with X58, then X79. No. And those were a lot less, they were a lot more forgiving than, as soon as X99 hits, it was less reliable. That I can say for sure, but it's still like within, like maybe if a mature platform, 1150 socket, whatever, 1700, 1200 socket, then AM4 with P450, P550, X470, X570. If they have like a lifespan from 10 years, you can say X99, X299 lasts for about 8 years. If you don't, like I said, fuck around with it, which you actually buy that in the first place, and if you do, you need to study it, you need to do this, and then it feels like going back to school, but just for a PC you bought for yourself. So I'm kind of recommending that only to some specific guys, which are not my clientele. I'm in this kind of in the same ballpark as Carey is, not having a business, but helping people with PCs all the time, and the most aren't even gamers and stuff like that. If I would told them about X299, they rip their hairs out. First and foremost, my hairs, because I recommended them shit. I wouldn't do that, and I would say keep a PC that's running fine. For example, most of them don't even play games. They don't have a GPU in it and stuff. Would turn my nerd head completely off and turn the business brain on, I would say. Sorry for my English. I'm not Native American, so but yeah, he's generally not wrong at all. He's more like the who he speaks to. If I watch this, he's a bit wrong. X299 is not unreliable per se. It's more like if you tinker with it and don't get it right or get the voltage to up. That was that VRM disaster, but that's what the Bauer made completely insane. He had the motherboard like the Asus Strix X299E gaming, the one. I had that board in my main system with the 7820X. It's not going above 66 degrees, and most of the time it's not. Like pretty much every YouTuber after that told you what's wrong with you, the Bauer. There's nothing wrong with this system. It's in the hotter side, but it's not in the like. It's extreme. You have gotta be careful if you touch it or go near your PC, you burn yourself. That's how it made me feel when the Bauer first reached out with this. But otherwise, the X99, X299, X399, especially X399 now. First generation Ryzen, no. For early adopters and all that, we get that. But nowadays, especially X399 is rock stable. It became rock stable over the time. Yeah, you wish that when you pay that much money to be it very first time it would be rock stable. Yeah, the world would be perfect if you had that. But yeah, as I can say, also from my experience, don't want to say he's trash or anything, because that wouldn't be true. Also, working with PCs, had some jobs here and there for over 20 years, so I'm not coming from like yesterday. So he's not wrong, but not necessarily too right. But he doesn't say bullshit. That's what I want to say. It's difficult to say it's X299. X399. It's unreliable. It's crap. It's kind of came across like he wanna says that. It's crap. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, back then you needed an X99 to get anything close from what we have today. An X99 system could still be rock fire. It was even beating some Ryzens, bro. Some new Ryzens. Not necessarily in esports gaming and stuff, but latency was a lot better. Mouse and keyboard input latency of devices could be even better than something like a 12600, 12900K. Not the chip necessarily, but it has some stuff that still new PCs ain't got. Like the quad channel memory, 8 RAM slots. Go 64 gigs of RAM cheaply. And not have to, if I wanna go 128 gigs now, I need to swap all 8 memories. But I wouldn't do that because I know that would go in for a lot of into the future. 64 gigs. Because I'm a video cutter, etc. But you know, for the majority of people, he's totally right. Stay away from it. For me, and for more, not tech enthusiasts necessarily, but someone that has experience, don't stay away from it. Tinker with it, learn something. Not just take advice from other people, try it. Especially if you have got money back, if you have a little bit more money on hand, try an older X99 system. You would be fucking, filled with love how they perform still. And if somebody got a still working fine X99 system, please stay on that. Don't replace it. Maybe don't tinker with it as much, but don't replace it, because it's those systems could be even X99 with the 5950X could be good for most stuff today. Fully enough for most people. I would really say that, even for me actually. It doesn't need to be the fastest anymore, because shit is evolving. But yeah, let's continue.
If you want the fastest thing you can get for your money, then go buy the Ferrari, the X99, the X399, X9, and deal with the troubles that come with it.
Yeah, that's what I said. Totally.
There's no fix for it. Whatever your problem is today, you'll have another problem next month or next week, whenever. It'll just be another problem.
As I said, he had a couple of X299 systems, X99 systems there. I wouldn't say for sure that I should trust that little bit of knowledge about those extreme systems, since he says all the time that he's not working with that in clients, so he got more experience with the matured standard type of hardware than this one. So I wouldn't necessarily say he's got a lot of experience with that X series chipset, to be honest. Since there wouldn't be 10 problems. I know there's motherboards lasting just 4 years, but in his experience, in everybody else's outside his bubble, outside his world, his job, he basically he's so wrong about those systems. He's so wrong. Usually they come to his systems. People bring the systems to him because it's completely fucked up. So yeah.
If you stick with like a socket 1151 or AM4 chip for AMD or Intel, you build a system once, it's good for years and years and years and years and years.
Well, that's true.
And you don't have any problems. So I've been on this with the X99.
That's for sure, yeah. You can... The only really experience I noticed with AM4, I mean, it gets slower if you go too far. It doesn't go any faster anymore, it does get slower. And then you say, let's fuck it. Let's redo all that, like stock, everything stock. Or get a little bit of like 100 megahertz or 50 megahertz below what you put in onto the processor RAM and what. And if it's then stable, you get golden. But it doesn't crash, it doesn't break. It doesn't get worse over time because you fucked it up once. It's everything you do after that could be worse. That's still the case somewhat with X99, X299, X399, but not with AM4 and Intel otherwise in general. That's not the issue. So he's right on that. Not saying he's totally wrong. If you build a system like that, like an AM4, you have to take a hammer to actually break it. Yeah, you are the hammer with like getting it a little bit too far on X299, X299. Then you break it. But I can tell you, at least from my experience now, my X299 system runs nice since 2017. Everything I bought 2017 runs nicely. It doesn't have VRM issues, it doesn't have power delivery issues, it doesn't have crashing issues per se. If I have everything at stock, or just like put a little bit of in like from 3.6 to 4 gigahertz, it wouldn't have any issues. I don't even have the meter to need the voltage need to set higher or something. But if I do that, then I run into problems a lot faster than with anything else. If that's what he's saying, then he's absolutely right. If not, well, he's quite wrong.
99s and X299s, and the X399s, they're just nothing but trouble. The last X299 system I built, I gave it away. I didn't even want it.
Bet my ass, that system was crying, bro.
Most of the people that are buying X99 and X299 and X399 would have been just as happy, even happier, with the performance of AM4 or socket 1151 from Intel.
Yeah, most people probably, yeah. Not me. I need this, especially when I see 8 RAM slots. It's like there where I feel safe. Okay, I've used X a lot longer than him, like even with work, even to help people out and stuff. I was using that crappy X series stuff. And it didn't show any issues, for real. If I had to do work done with that PC, I was even undo all my overclocks and all that completely stuck, and then it was rock fucking stable. It was as stable as a rock, never moves. And as every other chipset it was. That I can say for sure. But as I said, he's not totally wrong, because you have to have some knowledge. You can't just go ham on it like on other systems, because it's less forgiving than a normal type of PC. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Thank you for watching this new quick tip series of videos, and I hope you enjoyed it. If so, you can let me know by clicking the thumbs up.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm being honest. I've watched this video before, and showed it around to some other people. Just reacted now like more intense, but that's what I have in my head since I've watched it. But to dislike and write an evil comment, you asshole, you have no idea, which is totally far from the truth. Wouldn't be beneficial to anybody. Rather just tell us our experiences and opinions and have a good head day. As I said, I like Carey, but there's some criticism as always, and that's not bad. It's actually not to say to him he has to improve and he has to learn shit. He doesn't have time. That's totally fine. But for guys that me that have quite a bit of time, not always. Nowadays it starts to I have to build more PCs again and do all that stuff outside of YouTube, because on YouTube it's more of a hobby than anything else. So yeah, it depends. Then I cannot fiddle around with that stuff as much, but I can tell you X99 and that stuff isn't as bad as you say. It can be, but it generally isn't. I haven't seen anyone complain so much about X99, X299 and that stuff compared to other chipsets, because they aren't just that problematic as you thought. It's problematic for a total, I would say, like, let's just say it like I know it, like an idiot. If somebody never built a PC and stuff and then builds an X99 system and needs to take care of it, yeah, that would be bad for me as a person that likes to help a guy and gets the parts for him. I always say, no, don't get that if they tell me. They are not experienced enough to make use of this. Even I have got to, because I haven't had that in quite a long time. Just I had AMD for a longer time. And I even gotta refresh and gotta check some stuff out now. I even got lost on the X series stuff. But I'm not trying to go overboard with it like I did way before, or with other systems where we spent like 6 hours intentionally fucking up the PC and then trying to get the problems fixed, which can be a good game if you're drunk too, and hanging out with a friend. Then this was a quite good one. The game becomes almost the hardware itself. That's actually what that X is for. Basically, fucking play around like a child with it. If you want to, I guess. And if not, you can buy it to get the work done as best as you can possibly get on a PC. That's what it should be. But for anyone else, they're totally fine. My most recommended CPU is a 5600G, which is $120, maybe, if that. 6-core 12 thread, insane single core performance. Has integrated graphics if you want to diagnose some stuff. I don't have a GPU, but it comes later, so you can use something. It's got a good onboard graphics on. So those are nice systems that cost shit. You buy that from the cent shop almost, and you got a very good gaming PC. You got a very good rendering PC. What else do you want more? Most people wouldn't, and they would be happy with that. Or a B450, B550 board. They offer quite a bit for tiny little money. Even H and B560 and stuff from Intel would still be like in the same area. That's so dope for the money that like, wow, you don't even need that X shit anymore. Even though it has some edge still, like latency, snappiness. It's like even the fucking Explorer opens faster and reacts faster than any new system that I know of. Even like 11, 12, 900K wasn't as fast as a fucking 2017 8-core 7820X, I can tell you, even though the numbers say differently. Yeah, it doesn't have this high fledged out chipset like X was. X was extremely like overpowering, even though starting up a machine like this is almost like restarting a server, but then after that it's rocket fast. But you're never supposed to shut down the PC anyway. But yeah, long talking, but hopefully somebody has learned some. It's just what I had in my head too. Not to sound like I have some videos on him. I watch him pretty much every day. Also for my enjoyment. I fucking love this guy, and you should keep on, Carey. So that was for me. See you next time. You're Jonas Happy.